Hi everyone, I am Brittany the Cosmic Lunar Soul. Welcome to my channel. If you're new, welcome back to all my subscribers. Today I am going to be doing a little bit of a different unboxing. This is not a tarot deck or an oracle deck. This is an astrology deck. So I will be unboxing and flipping through the Astro alignment deck. And let's go ahead and get into it. This deck was sent to me by Running Press Studios or Running Press Publishing. It retails for $28 in the US and $35 Canadian. And it comes in there, if you've seen some of the other unboxings that I did, it comes in their really nice side tab open box. And it has all of this like holographic stars all around it. It's really cool. This is by Grace Dong. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. And you kind of get a sneak peek of the cards here. I'm very excited. I really like round cards. So let's go ahead and just open her up. So it opens up. Here we have our book, our guidebook, and then we have our deck here. It's so compact. It's so cute. I did not expect it to be that small. But we can see here that there's just this standard insert in the box, and then it has this nice starry pattern here. So I'm going to go ahead, put this off to the side, and let's look at the guidebook. Here's the guidebook, the table of contents. We have the introduction, we have some rituals, how to use the cards, modalities, elements, zodiac signs, houses, astrological axes, planets, asteroids, lunar nodes, moon phases, aspects, and time travel. All right, that's interesting. So you can see all throughout it has these black pages. It's colored all the way through and illustrated throughout as well. So the rituals page is actually really short. It's just kind of giving you some overall guidance on how to incorporate them into rituals. So I think this assumes that you already know how to set up rituals or have your own rituals that you do regularly or something like that. Then we get into how to use the card. It talks about one card pulls, astro alignment questions you can ask, 3 cards, and then it's very similar to tarot. We even have our past, present, future, me, you, us. So they have a lot of similar spreads here. So this should be very familiar. Of course, we have the zodiacs all laid out. Here I am as Taurus. I really like that, though. I like this page. It's really cute. And then it starts to talk about the modalities. So it explains that there are 3 modalities: cardinal, fixed, and mutable, and each season contains all 3. So you can see it laid out here, actually. Let me bring this closer. So you can see we have spring, summer, fall, winter. We have cardinal, fixed, and mutable all throughout, like each one. So here in spring, I am the fixed Taurus. It does mention that modalities are sometimes also referred to as quadruplicities, which is very interesting because there's 3 of them, but I know it's because of the 4 seasons, but that does not make sense to me. Now we are getting into the breakdown of the different modalities. So we start with cardinal, we go to fixed. So let me read fixed. It says fixed is action, momentum, and dedication, and it explains the 4 fixed signs, which is why it's called quadruplicities, but it's so crazy to me. Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. It says for Taurus, it stabilizes through material gains. Yeah, it's kind of true. And then we have mutable here. This is where my moon and rising fall. So mutable is versatility, flexibility, and adaptability. And I am Pisces, so adapts through imagination. That's cool. And then we also have so this table starts to turn into like a multi-level matrix. So here we have the modality, here we have the elements, and then each sign is represented by both of them. So here we have Taurus, which is earth and fixed, and then Pisces, which is water and mutable. So I like that table. It kind of helps a little bit. I like tables as someone who is more like left brain. Tables make more sense to me than just chunks of paragraphs because I can visualize it. So let's see what it says for Earth. Here we are getting into the elements. So here are the elements here. Earth, it says, is pragmatic, grounded, and enduring. Yeah, sometimes I can be that to a fault. And then my moon and rising are water. So that says refreshing, mysterious, and fluid. I don't know. Am I mysterious? So here we're getting into the zodiac signs. And then it has like a table for each one. And in those tables, you can see the modality again. You can see the element again, but then it introduces the other stuff. We have the symbol, which for Taurus is the bull. This rules over Venus. The mantra is I have, and then it includes the dates. And then what I really like here is it associates the tarot card with it. So that is more relatable to me. Let's see what it says for Pisces. So for Pisces, we have psychic, intuitive, and dreamy, and the tarot card is the moon. So the symbol is the fish, and it rules over Jupiter and Neptune, and the mantra is I believe. Oh, kind of cool. Here we get into the houses. This is so far down my list of like my understanding. So I'm just trying to remember all of the zodiacs and their elements at this point. Don't expect me to ever remember the dates because I can barely remember what today's date is, let alone that. But baby steps, right? So I understand the concept of houses. This is really big, especially in natal charts. So when you see that wheel, for example, it shows the breakdown for each house. And basically the houses are different areas of the life experience. And it says here, think of the planets as actors and the houses are the sets on the stage. Oh, okay. That helps a little bit. So as each planet transits through different houses of the astrology wheel, they try on different costumes from the zodiac sign that house is under. The sign shows you how a planet expresses itself, and the house shows you in which area of life. Oh, that's that makes a lot more sense. Okay. So journeying through each house from beginning to end is a progression from personal self to the world, shifting and evolving through transits as you mirror the movement and evolution in your own life. Okay. All right. That kind of makes sense. I have to sit on that a little bit, but I like that. So we have the different houses laid out here. And then we expand upon them here. Okay, got it. That makes a lot of sense. I feel like I have to read that a few times for it to sink in, but it makes a lot of sense. Now we're diving even further from my wheel of expertise. These are astrological axes. I've actually heard these. I have very much astrology friends. Like, they are really well versed in this stuff. So I hear these words come up, but they don't necessarily mean anything to me yet. So it says an axis exists as the cusp of each house and in the pairings of zodiac signs opposite one another. It says the most well-known axes are the ones between the ascendant and descendant and the Imum Coeli and the Medium Coeli, which is Midhaven. Okay, this is definitely, I think this deck would be a really interesting deck from beginner to advanced, because that just went right over my head. But it's definitely something, and I'll have to see how it plays out in the actual cards too, because yeah, I'll have to see how this plays out. But again, it follows suit that it gives the information, and then it gives the breakdown for each one. We have the ascendant, the descendant, I hope I'm pronouncing these right, the Imum Coeli, Medium Coeli. I feel like I'm embarrassing myself somehow. Okay, and then we get into the planets. I am somewhat familiar with some of these just because of witchcraft, but yeah, we'll get into that. So again, it says in astrology, planets are the actors and the night sky is the stage, with the houses represent the different sets in which the scenes take place. The planets then exchange dialogue with one another depending on the set against which they are acting, and the aspect they are making toward one another can allude to the blocking of the scene. And then here we have all of the planets laid out. And then, of course, the breakdown. We start off with the sun and the moon, and then we get into the actual planets. So obviously the sun is the sun, but ironically the moon is not the moon. It's the high priestess. And then we get into Earth. There's really nothing there. And then Mercury is the magician. And I'm not going to go through all of them, but some are doubly represented. So the sun, the tarot card sun, is also represented by Mars as well as the sun itself. We have Uranus is the Fool, Neptune is the Hanged Man, and then I like that Pluto is here, and it is represented as Judgment. So then we get into asteroids. It does mention that this is not a traditional part of astrology, but more astrologers have come to use them as society has evolved and changed. So similar to the planets, they represent archetypes and embody characteristics of mythological deities. I have heard of these. Ceres, Chiron, Vesta, Eros, Psyche, Lilith. The asteroids are not my jam, so I'm just going to skip through that. The lunar nodes are basically the illuminating orbits where the moon and sun intertwine. So you can kind of see that path. We have the solar path, and then we have the lunar path. So then we have the lunar south node and then the lunar north node. And then we expand upon the different nodes. So it says the south node is past lives, natural gifts, karmic challenges, whereas the north node is destiny, purpose, and activation. And then we have the moon phases. This is fairly common, actually, like that they included this here. We have the new moon, which is creation, intention, potential. And they have broken up the waxing and waning phases into the waxing crescent, the first quarter, the waxing gibbous. So if you like to break down that phase into more granular increments, then this kind of does that instead of just saying, some will just do new moon, first quarter, full moon, third quarter, and then, rinse and repeat. And then we go in into like the types of moons. We have moon void, of course, super moon, a solar eclipse, lunar eclipse, and then we get into the aspects. So I think the aspects is the last one before time travel. Yeah. So breaking down the aspects here. Kind of similar breakdown to stuff. It has the aspect name and then the theme behind it, and then explains it in more detail. And then we get into time travel. They don't mean time travel literally. This is actually more so of using astrology to look through time, both past and future. And basically, what that means is like looking into the past to prepare for the present, and you can lay out the groundwork for the future and anticipate what to expect going forward. So I like that, but it's cute that they call it time travel. So we have transits, cusp, retrograde, planetary return, equinox, solstice, and that's it. So that is the guidebook. Let me get the cards out and prep for the flip through. All right, that was the flip through. So let's talk about the cards. Here are the back of the cards. Very vibrant, really nice. There are some, like, I don't know if you noticed when I pulled it out, but it looks like just some debris, I guess, from packaging on the sides. But it's not impacting the backs or the fronts of the cards. So here we have basically the 12 houses on the outside, followed by the zodiacs on the inside, and the name and their symbols. But it's actually nice, I would say lightly coated matte. It's actually really nice lightly coated matte. It is a little sticky, which sometimes they can be. So you can see, like, when I want to fan it out like that, it kind of fans in chunks, in big chunks, which is pretty normal of this kind of cardstock. I will say that this is actually a really good size, because if they were any bigger, the deck is so big, like tall. It's very tall. If these cards were any wider around, if the diameter was any larger, it would be very difficult to shuffle, in my opinion. So otherwise, overhand shuffling is great. These are circular, so they're not going to riffle, and they're too tall. You can't riffle this. This probably would work out to fan if I had a more tacky background, if my layout, my desk wasn't so smooth. But you can always like hand fan it too in pieces, even though you definitely got to break them in, guys. All right, so that was the astrology deck. What did you guys think? Do you like the cards? Did you like the guidebook? I thought it was really fantastic. So if you enjoyed this video, give me a like, hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. Bye, guys.